On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we welcome comic artist and writer Ben Soto. We're going to talk about a couple of games that Scott, Sean, and I played over the weekend, and do a dive on the crazy game weekend that Scott had recently. And finally, we're going to discuss the proper way to say the word croissant. And that's all coming up now. Welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dirk Cooper, and today we are joined by Scott.
Croissant.
Not correct. And Sean.
You're wrong.
What? Hi.
And our guest Ben.
I say croissant.
Who has already bit off more than he can chew here.
Yeah.
He's already too far into this conversation.
Now were I French and not a Southerner, I would probably say croissant.
It is croissant because it's French.
Croissant.
It's with a W. It's like with a W.
But being that I'm a Southerner, it's
and it is correctly pronounced croissant.
Well, you're uppity.
Hello to Jerry. Jerry got in here early. We're already having people pile in here. This is awesome.
He is kind of an uppity.
I could be uppity.
Yeah, you try.
I can be be like that. Got a gnat. Gnats are not uppity. Walt says he's in the drive-thru at McDonald's.
All right.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
That's the sort of people.
Get
that
get the brownie caramel flurry. It's actually like good for at least 4 bites. The brownie stuff's pretty good.
Only for 4 bites.
Only 4?
Well, depends how they make it. It's McDonald's, you know. You gotta get what you pay for.
Wow.
I mean, the McFlurry invention is the laziest thing ever when it comes to like mixing toppings with ice cream. I mean, the thing they put in there is like a boat or spoon anyways that they just change out.
It's a plastic spoon.
Yeah, that they stir it with, so they can't stir it well. I mean, come on.
Walt's not getting that because he's lactose intolerant.
I'm sorry, bro.
Plus, the
It's
ice cream
one
machine's
level-
probably not working anyways.
Right.
They're usually broken.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
always.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
a
only
good point.
it's only one level up beyond like marble slab where they just push 3 ingredients into your ice cream.
If it's not broken, then they're cleaning it.
Right.
For sure.
It's one of those two.
Ran
So if
into
you get
that
it
the other
between like 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., you might try whatever the heck it is that Scott's talking about for 4 bites.
It's the nice way to say we're not serving you ice cream.
Right.
We're cleaning it.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. All right, we are broadcasting live from my Facebook account, which is that right there, and from YouTube, which is that right there, and from my Twitter account, which is that right there. If you're watching us live, please share this to your feed so your feed becomes our feed. We sure would appreciate it. Also, we are looking for guests for Task Force Geek. Particularly, we're looking for comic artists and writers like Ben Soto, or if you're writing books, or you're writing scripts, or you're doing games, whatever it is that you're doing. We've even had cosplayers on. Get in touch with us at taskforcegeek@gmail.com, and we will have you on soon. And we hope we do. What else? I think we're just going to go right straight to our guest right after this. We are going to begin with our guest, Ben Soto. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's important to note that Ben is also local. Where are you at right now?
I'm streaming out of Collinsville, Oklahoma.
There it is.
Yeah.
Is that around Tulsa?
That's near Tulsa. It's north of Tulsa.
North of Tulsa. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet another Okie. This is a complete Okie broadcast now.
He's in Stony country, right? So he's up there with Stony and all those guys. Do you know Stony Williams?
I don't. No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well,
he's in Tulsa. He's in that area.
Was it Veneta? Is that?
Sounds right. How did you remember that?
Wow.
I'm brilliant.
What
my man.
the heck? What the heck? Okay, so the brief bio that Ben sent me says, quote, I'm a writer and artist published by Equinox Comics, Dark Horse Creature Entertainment, New Myth Comics, and you did art for Cremona's. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Celtic Knights.
Celtic Knights,
Okay.
year one. Isn't
Year
that with
That's
Mike Kennedy?
book.
Yeah, with
Didn't
Mike
he do
Kennedy.
that? So
Yeah.
both of you did art for that?
Yeah.
Interesting. I want to talk about that. Hopefully, Mike is watching us tonight. He watches often. You also did for Matt Price's The Grave.
Right.
I saw that one. That's probably where I saw you first.
Okay.
Is in that sort of stuff. And you began self-publishing in 2018 as Halloween Head Comics.
Yep.
And you have a crowdfunding campaign going on. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. So again, guys, if you have any questions for Ben, please chime in. My first question for Ben is, how did you get interested in writing and drawing comics?
Must have been when I was like 12, 13 years old, collecting comic books, and I read the Round Robin Sidekick's Revenge Amazing Spider-Man miniseries that was written by David Michelini.
Yeah.
And like that's still to this day my favorite comic book miniseries. Like that's what comic books are supposed to be. Crossovers, a lot of action, a lot of fun. And so that's how I got into it. That's kind of what inspired me to pursue that.
What are some of your previous projects?
Well, I've like I mentioned there, I've done work for Equinox Comics.
What did you do for them?
With The Curse, it was a story about a ninja, about this kid who kind of has this second personality, and he kind of transforms into this ninja character.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then with Dark Horse, that was just like a pinup that I colored, but they published it, so that was
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what book was that in?
That was in Once Upon a Time Machine.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, and then I did work for Creature Entertainment as a colorist, mostly. What else did I do?
Celtic Knights.
Then Celtic Knights, like I mentioned, also.
What did you do there?
I did a kind of like an origin story for the characters Fire and Ice. They're a couple, and it's kind of like how they met in Ireland and started dating. It's like their first date.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I honestly don't remember now. It's probably been about 5 years ago, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, you started doing self-publishing. What was your first deal that you self-published?
It was Tricks and Treats, issue number 1, and it was meant to be an anthology series, but it was just me and my brother, so we just had 2 stories. So I kind of call it more of a creature feature, like a double feature.
Okay.
So yeah,
I've seen this book.
You have?
Yes. Speeding Bullet down here in Norman carries it.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool.
I believe there's 2 issues out. Is that correct, Ben?
Yeah, well, we just released the 3rd issue back in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
You went to school for painting. You want to talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I went to Texas Tech University. I was a visual studies major. My hope was to be an art teacher, but that didn't really work out for me. I just kind of got tired of doing that. Like my professor used to say, I think you're a closet like studio painter, not really want to be a teacher. And he was right. I kind of just want to do art.
You didn't want to teach it. You just thought that maybe teaching it would be a way that you could get involved in art and
yes, and legitimize it, like kind of legitimize the pursuit of doing art.
Get a paycheck.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think almost every artist goes through that, because I remember my dad when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna be an artist, and he's like, why don't you teach art and and going in that direction, because he was worried about me paying rent and living at home forever.
Yeah.
So I think almost every artist goes through that at some point.
I mean, I know, Scott, you've taught how to draw comics. You had a deal for a while where you were teaching people how to draw comics.
I've gotten in on a lot of like little things like after school, classes to teach and this and that, or things at the library, little workshops and stuff, and they're fun and I still like doing them. But I mean, let's be honest, they're rewarding, but nobody wants to just teach all the time. I mean, not if you're really like in love with your art and the passion for
And
creating.
Sean had an extended period where he was teaching artwork, graphic design.
Yes. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting 4-5 years. Yeah.
Who did you teach for?
It was a local tech school by the name of Platt College. That at its height, I had about 25 different students. At my lowest, I had 3. So it fluctuated quite a bit, but it was very rewarding. But it did take a toll on me.
So Ben, are you doing all your art in the traditional sense, on paper and stuff like that? I know everybody is.
Tony says, "Go Red Raiders." That's our guest later on tonight.
That's right. Got my guns up there. There you go.
I mean, I know a lot of us, including myself, is trying to start learning more digital artwork and stuff like that. So I was just kind of curious, like, have you been doing digital art for like the last 10 years? Are you even doing it at all? Because they're night and day, 2 different mediums, and both. Yeah. I respect people who can pull off both of those for sure. So,
yeah, now coloring I've been doing for a while, but of course that's digital. But as far as drawing comics digitally, I just started recently. As a matter of fact, the 3rd issue of Tricks and Treats was the first issue where I penciled it, inked it, and colored it all digitally.
Wow.
What's the difference for you between doing it analog and doing soup to nuts digital?
Doing it digital is a lot more forgiving. You can Control Z any mistake you make.
Yep. You
can just delete a layer, start again if you need to.
Yep.
If you draw something too big, you can shrink it. If you draw something too small, you can blow it up.
Yep.
So that's just nifty to have.
Yeah. Hey,
hey, Mike.
I want to talk more about that. Mike, we were just talking about you because we talked about Celtic Knights. And, of course, you have been deeply involved in that. And Mike is currently teaching art. Actually, he's currently packing up to go to New Mexico. Okay. But he has been teaching art to he says so anyway, you're the exact person that I want to be involved in this conversation for sure. Walt says that his mother is a retired high school art teacher. We've talked to her and about her on many occasions. And so, yeah, I mean, look, if you're into art, teaching art is definitely a way that you can, put those 2 things together and again, get a paycheck for it, for sure.
So what do you prefer? You like doing the pencils, the inks, the coloring? What if somebody came at you and they gave you one job? What do you feel like you're strongest at?
I think my strength is coloring.
Okay.
But I love to ink. I love the pushing that ink around and mixing washes together. I just love the feel of it.
What is it? I mean, look, color is a big deal. I mean, we've talked about it many times. You can take a substandard piece of artwork and elevate it with good art, with good color.
Very true.
And you can take a great piece that's inked and destroy it with bad color.
Yes.
So, that's what color will do for you or against you. And so, I look, we're going to take a look at your artwork here really soon. Ooh. And I think people are going to see that you are a really good colorist. It's not just something that you enjoy. You have a real good sense for that. What do you think? I mean, I think that it's a unique talent. I think it's something that not everyone can do.
I hate coloring, by the way.
I hate flatting. Flatting sucks. It's such a.
Maybe that's the part
boring.
It's a boring part. Yeah.
It is.
Very tedious.
What do you think? Why do you think that you're good at coloring? In my opinion, I think you're good. Why do you think that you have a handle on it?
Probably my background in painting, and also I've asked a lot of colorists, professional colorists, like, what do you think I need to learn? What is it that I need to do better? What do you think helps a colorist become a better colorist? And like one of the things I heard back was atmospheric perspective, and it's something I never really thought about. And just looking at how a lot of artists will use color holds to knock like the background and push it back to pull the subject forward, or putting too much detail everywhere on a panel or a page and you kind of lose focus of what the penciler or the inker was meaning to bring focus to, because you're putting too much highlights over here and there instead of bringing focus to the subject. And so just paying attention to the storytelling aspect of it, and also the psychology of it, of color, bringing emotion into it, and just trying to give the reader a feel, put them in a certain atmosphere when they're reading the book.
How do you do that, Ben?
Again, it's about knowing the psychology of color, how color affects you, how you react to color, and everybody reacts to it a certain way. There's certain colors that even advertisers use in the marketing to get a certain reaction, and it's just learning that.
So, like cool colors can create kind of a mellow scene or something, and where like reds or something that's real saturated might create more excitement.
Right, excitement, energy, passion. It just invokes so many different types of feelings in a person.
I think it's very easy for people who don't know art to understand how color affects you.
Yeah.
So strongly if you're not kind of paying attention to it, and it's much like good coloring can help a bad piece. Good coloring can affect the mood of a black and white piece as well. Yeah. And absolutely, color is a huge part of storytelling.
Right.
I really think a lot of times, I mean, I've argued this with Sean and Dirk and even my buddy Gary. I mean, I think the real artists anymore, I mean, like there's a lot of fabulous artists, but man, I think the comics look so, I don't know what the right word is, finished, professional. I mean, like, I think we take for granted, like, how much the colorist does versus what they used to do 35 years ago in comics and stuff. Because, like, even my buddy Gary, he, in our Taskforce Geek forum or whatever on Facebook, our group, he posted this cover by Lee Weeks, which I love Lee Weeks. He's a great artist. Yeah. But we started really talking about it, and I said, we talked about what we loved about it, and the subtle things were all from the colorist, not from the penciler.
Wow.
And, so like, it just, the right colors, man, makes something really pop. And I really wonder, like, behind the scenes, like at the big companies, how much they get paid compared to the penciler and the inker and stuff like that. Because
probably not as much.
Probably
not as much.
Probably not, no. But I mean, like, you could argue that they deserve their fair share. I mean, especially
some artists are starting to do all of it. They're starting to, they do pencils and skip the inks, and then go straight to doing color work. I think that the guy that I follow, I think Jorge Jimenez does the whole show. Wow. I think he's doing everything.
Is that the Batman guy?
It's the Batman guy. I think he does everything. I could be wrong on that. He certainly is doing pencils and inks on his own, but he also, I think, sets everything up for color. I may be wrong on that. To compare with the way it used to be, the way it used to be, Spider-Man had certain specific colors. Spider-Man had a red number whatever,
right?
For his outfit, and a blue, and then all this sort of stuff. And colors were assigned to different things, and they talked about how they had colorists in I guess some ladies that were in the Marvel basement that had, I mean, it was like color by numbers. I mean, they were just filling in the colors that were exactly the same every issue, and there wasn't any kind of artistic process involved there at all. It's just, plug in the colors there. And then, later you had some stuff that might have been painted and photographed and then, put into comics. But, I mean, digital coloring is what changed everything. And now it's almost like, I mean, some of this stuff is like, basically it's painted. It's painted color on top of pencils and inks and stuff. And it has absolutely changed the industry, for sure. Mike's got some comments here for us. He says, "Hey all, it's been an rewarding job, his teaching job. I'm getting ready to finish a 6-week comic art course this week." There you go. He also says that coloring has its challenges for sure. M. Night Shyamalan, who has a movie coming out this week, uses a lot of the psychology of color in his films. Yeah. In Sixth Sense, he specifically used the color red. They removed red from every scene, and then if he was going to emphasize something, it's red. And so by removing that and then using only red when you want to emphasize something, then it becomes, very powerful. And again, most people don't catch that sort of stuff, but if you're in a color, color can be very interesting.
What was that movie with the superheroes or supervillains? I guess it would. It just came out.
Suicide Squad.
No, M. Night Shyamalan.
Glass.
Was it Glass? Okay, he did that a lot. There's certain scenes that he used a lot of yellow to kind of hint. Split. Okay, he used a lot of yellows to illustrate this character. He used a lot of purple for this character, and so on and so forth. And it gave it a really neat, I don't want to say a comic book feel, but you're unaware, but you notice it. It did a really good job. Otherwise, I think he's a hack director, but he's got a great lighting and great visual artist with him that kind of help him along.
Right. That started with Unbreakable, then Split, then Glass. Walt wants to know if anyone's familiar with laying down amberlith layers for coloring. Yeah. I never did that.
I did that for several years.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Is that the red stuff?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You could
color separations.
You could either get it in a amberlith or a rubylith. Rubylith
is what I'm used to from screen.
Ruby was the red. Amber was kind of an orangish.
I got you.
But same thing, same principle.
Mike says he was a production artist, so he was very familiar with that process. Yep, that's the way things used to happen, folks.
So Ben, I got 2 questions for you.
All right.
I'm assuming you currently read comics. What you reading right now, if you are? And then don't you have something coming out, or it's on Kickstarter or on something else? 2-part question. Go with the first one because I'm always interested to hear what people are reading or enjoy, collecting or whatever in their spare time.
No, yeah, I haven't. Honestly, I have not read a comic book in a little while. I've been buying a lot of alternate comics. They're cheap. Great stories, fun stories. That one right there, Bloodborne's pretty good. Gods and Gears is another good one. And yeah, my campaign right now, it's going on Indiegogo, and it's collecting issues 1 through 3 of the Tricks and Treats series that I was working on, and into 1 volume. And
we got the deal on that. Sean, is that the thing that you have up here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's add that to the stream. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this project, please?
Yeah, so I got to work with a few of my friends. Tommy Brunel is an excellent writer. My brother Justin Soto, he's an artist on here and a writer. Johnny Johnson, Jason Cootie, Michael Garrett. He's from Oklahoma City, your area.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's basically a horror anthology, kind of like a Twilight Zone in comic book form.
Cool.
And so each story kind of has a different feel, and 2 stories will have a theme. So like the first 2 stories is Lovecraft, the second 2 stories is Bigfoot, and the last 2 stories is ghost stories.
So it's a compilation of other issues that you've released.
Right.
So you get the whole story right now.
Yeah.
Dude, it's already funded.
You funded this thing.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean Ben doesn't want your help. So keep buying comics, people. Don't listen to that part.
No, yeah, I was surprised it funded in under 24 hours.
You had a low ask on this, didn't you? 500?
Or? Yeah, just 500, just in its cover printing. Yeah.
What was the strategy there?
It really just wasn't a strategy. I just wanted to make sure it hit the 500 because that's what I needed to print. And
right.
So yeah.
Are you going through a local printer, or is there somebody online that you met, or?
Yeah, somebody online. I want to say they're in Ohio, and they're called. Oh, I can't remember the name. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the printer.
They are not going to be happy with you.
That's right.
That's all right. They're probably not watching.
This was their great chance.
Right.
Their great chance here. Tell us what the different packages are that you're offering here, and so that hopefully we get some people over there to help do this, help fund this project.
Yeah, so the first tier is the book and swag, and what you do is you get the comic book, you're going to get a bookmark and a 1-inch pin. And if you're one of the first 25, we're going to give you a Halloween head bracelet as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bracelet.
How many pages is this?
So far it's 97 pages. I am going to add I'm going to add an additional story, a bonus story in the background.
Cool.
Nice.
It hasn't been printed yet.
So you get the whole thing right here. You don't have to collect issue 1 and issue 2. I mean, you get all of the stuff.
Yep, you get it all. So yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What's the bracelet like?
It's one of those silicone rubber bracelets.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see Wirehead here.
Oh,
so I'm poking around on my side, so.
Oh, you're good. That's the stretch goal. The stretch goal. Once we hit 750, everybody get that Wirehead poster. Cool. Wirehead is a comic book by Rob Geronimo, and he was having this campaign for his comic book. And
Sean hit the update. Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that drawing for him. Just
I like that, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dude, your colors are great, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I said, I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun for me.
What do you color in? Is it Photoshop? Is it Manga Studio?
I color in Photoshop. For some reason, Manga Studio just doesn't work for me. Like, I just can't get the richness of color that I can get in Photoshop for some reason. They just feel a little flat to me.
I got you.
Yeah.
This is
Sean,
sweet.
Yeah, go back up to the top. You kind of went through some of the pages real quick. What story is this here?
So this is from the Land of Dagon, which is my
Dagon. Yeah, okay.
Right. So the original story, Dagon's about a guy who jumps off a ship, finds a strange land, finds that pillar, and then sees this creature. And so this is kind of like a modern take on it.
Cool.
So a cruise ship gets hit by a hurricane out at sea, and they appear on this strange land, and they're exploring it, and they find the pillar. And
cool.
Yeah.
What else you got there, Sean? What is this story here?
This next story is The Tree of Life. This was written and drawn by my brother Justin, and it's Lovecraft inspired, but not as close to Lovecraft as Dagon was. This is kind of like his interpretation of what that would feel like. And so there's a doctor who's looking for the Tree of Life to give him eternal life. He's looking for immortality, and so he goes exploring and comes across these creatures, and it's not what he expected it to be.
Walt says that he says, I'm with Ben on coloring in Photoshop versus Clip Studio. Interesting. I went to Clip Studio because of the inking. That was my biggest thing, and I am very used to doing coloring in Clip Studio, but I haven't gone back to Photoshop since I kind of got comfortable in Clip Studio. So I wonder what it would look like over there. I think it's interesting that you say that the colors are flat.
For me, like the tools that they offer that I'm just not used to using them, or they don't react the way I expect them to. I guess I should say, they do in Photoshop for me.
I know that Photoshop has some abilities that Clip Studio doesn't have, particularly with kind of I think what they call like live brushes, something like that. I know that would be different.
Yeah, and honestly, I use Photoshop Elements. I don't use the real Photoshop.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, mine's the cheap version that came with my Wacom Intuos 3 tablet. Like 15 years ago. Like I still have that. Yeah, I still have that.
You're doing this color job with that?
Yeah.
Good Lord. The other night when the guys were over, a couple of years back, I did some artwork for a Kickstarter game called Death Path. And when I was hired to do the art, I thought I was just doing pencils and inks and they were handing it to a colorist. and they said, no, we need these colored too. And I was like, I was telling the guys, I was like, I don't even have real Photoshop. I have Photoshop Elements, and oh my god, it's not very good color wise. But I did the best I could with what I had, and my experience was. The first picture I did for him was the first time I did something in color, and then, so on. So, man, you're getting great results, man.
Yeah, I'm just really comfortable with it.
Yeah, let me tell you, that means I did a really crappy job.
We talked to a lot of people who are just getting involved in this sort of stuff. And one of the issues that you deal with right now is that in the past you would be a penciler, or you'd be an inker, or you'd be a colorist. Now, people kind of expect you to. People expect themselves to be able to do everything. They don't specialize in one thing. They feel like they have to do everything all at the same time.
Yeah,
Sean, I'm sorry, Sean. Go to the art of mine. There's a page with the ghost hands. Anyways,
what?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with the industry the way it is, it's better off for people just to go ahead and branch out and do their own thing rather than try and break in.
Right there.
To the big two.
Go back, Sean, with the ghost hands. Just scroll down right there. Look at that frame, that bottom panel. Isn't that awesome, dude? You did this in Photoshop Elements.
Yeah.
Oh golly. That is.
Did you do all the colors?
Yes, I did. All the colors of the book, I did.
How long did it take you to color a page?
I really like that effect for the ghost stuff.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it just depends on how detailed the page is, but anywhere from 3 to 5 hours.
I think that's pretty good. That sounds like pretty fast.
Yeah.
To me.
I need to find out what Ben's rates are so I can just hire him to color my stuff when I do super show stuff. Or whatever.
I'm telling you, a good colorist is worth its weight in gold.
Now, speaking of rates and whatnot, what is this your sole occupation doing this,
no.
or what do you do?
I wish
full time.
Yeah, I wish it was. No, I work for a company that sells metal building components. I've worked there for 13 years. I did shipping. I did purchasing for about 6 years. And currently, I'm their production scheduler.
So Ben, you look like you're 25. So you've been working this since you're about 12.
Yeah, I started when I was 10. Yeah. I'm actually a lot older than I look.
Have you ever considered? And maybe you just like working for yourself and doing your own projects. But have you ever considered, trying to get a job with one of the big comic companies? I mean, again, colors are in high demand.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I've done freelance stuff, and I just did not have great experiences all the time.
I got you.
and that's where I'll leave it.
Sure. You don't have to say any more to me.
Yeah, but so no, it hasn't really crossed my mind to try and break into the big two. I'd rather just do my own thing. And I've actually got a comic book series that I've been working on, that I've been writing, that I'm really excited about. But that's what my focus is on right now.
Let me bring us all back up here for a minute. Let me one other time make sure that people know where to find your Indiegogo campaign. Did you do this also on Kickstarter, or did you start on Indiegogo?
Yeah, just Indiegogo.
Good. Why did you choose Indiegogo over Kickstarter, if you don't mind?
No, I heard that I didn't really look into it myself, but I've heard other people talking about it. Kickstarter takes more money from you at the end of it.
I've heard several people say that.
I have to.
Yeah,
I think it's important for people to know that.
Yeah, you gotta know the business side of things, right? The money.
Yeah.
But also, I've seen a lot of successful campaigns on there, and so I know that the crowd's already there. The people are already there looking.
They are very. They love comics.
Yeah, they do.
For sure on Indiegogo. So I mean, I think it's interesting I think people need to hear that.
Yeah.
About Indiegogo, that you can run a successful campaign over there. Some people do both. Some people choose one or the other.
Yeah.
All right. Also, if you're interested in that, you should go to that Facebook page right there, Halloween Head Comics,
Yeah.
with a big long bunch of numbers there.
Yeah, you can just look up Halloween Head Comics. It'll pull up.
I'm sure it will. There's probably not like 20 or 30 of those.
Yeah.
All right, I want to share some of your artwork and kind of go through that and talk to you about that.
Okay.
Are you up for that?
Sure.
All right. We're going to start with this, and I thought that this is appropriate because obviously Black Widow just had a deal out, and Taskmaster was in that as well. So I thought this was pretty appropriate.
Right.
What medium is this in?
This is watercolor and ink, and there's some acrylic in there, I believe, for the whites. But yeah, that's all there is.
What size is this?
That is a 9x12.
9x12. Is that usually what you work in? Is about that?
Yeah, typically watercolors for me, they're a little bit smaller. I wish I could find my pad because here it is actually.
If anyone has any questions for Ben, please chime in. We want to get those to it.
Yeah, it's a little smaller than a 9x12. But it's got a lot of junk on it. I don't want to pull it up right now.
That's okay.
I'm an artist. I'm messy.
I got it.
We understand, man. We understand.
Totally understand. What is this piece here?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that's for that project that I'm working on. It's called Westward Darkly, and it's going to be a Lovecraft meets Western, kind of in a Western setting.
Cool. I like that.
I like that too.
Thanks.
I like those colors once again.
Thank you.
Very cool stuff. What did you do this in? This is pretty recent, right?
Yeah, I believe that was Clip Studio. I think that was, it was probably in the last 10 months or so.
Cool. Is that your main character in your project? We'll talk about this project here in a minute if you want to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, his name's Roman Black.
Tell us what's going on here, because I think a lot of people don't really know, or maybe they're curious about the artistic process, and I thought this was a nice way to kind of highlight that.
Yeah, so this is how I started drawing. It's just shapes, blobs, kind of gesture where the muscles are going to go, basically. That's the blue line on the left side. This was done at Clip Studio. And then I'll throw another layer on top of it, and I'll push it a little further. And that's what you see on the right-hand side.
So then you would put that blue layer underneath it, where you're just kind of working out the process. And then after that, you would tighten it up with this right here.
Right, a little more detail, kind of push the drawing a little further, correct some things.
And then from that, you would ink it, right? And then finally color it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's really informative because people, I don't know, Kim Jong-gi goes right straight to inks.
Right.
But most of us do this right here. I do almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
I might have another process or two here.
And I think every
I'm trying to hack
loves
stuff out,
seeing
figure it out.
the other people's pencils.
Absolutely.
So
I love this. I love this. This is very informative.
Sean,
to
I
me,
sent
and
you a
interesting.
private message. If you'll check the private messages.
I will check the private message.
Private
It's for
message.
something later.
How about this?
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a watercolor.
Very nice.
Thank you.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now, Ben, do you go to these comic conventions and you sell prints of this stuff, or do you
Good question.
even set up booths, or do you just go as a fan like a lot of us? So,
No, I go with Equinox Comics to a lot of the places they go to.
Okay.
Still pretty tight with them, and just hang out with them.
Do you think that you'll be returning to that soon, or what do you think?
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to be at OathCon this year.
Oh, OathCon. All right.
Yeah.
That's a convention in Norman that was put together by Bart. What was his last name?
Bart Bush. Yeah.
Bart Bush.
Bart
yeah.
Bush.
Yeah.
God rest
For
his
some
soul.
reason, I was thinking
Yeah.
Bart Sears.
No.
I know that's not correct. That's what was coming to my mind. This will be the first year that it's run without him,
Right. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I've heard that I've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of people said good things about OFCON. So I hope that continues.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the last few like straight comic book and vintage kind of comic book shows.
Yeah.
Is it still in the same hotel?
No, it's in more now. I think before it was in that little cheap hotel. I can't remember what it's called. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It smelled
In
like
Norman,
cigarettes.
it was like the it was like the Sooner something or other hotel.
I don't know, but I love that place.
And you're saying
Other
it's in
people
more
might
now?
disagree with me.
What's that?
Ben, did you say it's in more now? The OFCON is
No, I'm sorry. It's Norman. You're right. It's Norman.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but not the same place
No.
from years ago. Okay, man, I have fond memories of that old hotel. This is nice.
Thank you. It's also watercolor.
This is. It looks like this is the complete picture. It looks like you took kind of the middle part of a page, maybe.
Yeah.
What is this from?
That is from my third issue that I was coloring, and again, this is an example of using color to give mood to a feeling. This is a
Definitely.
sad scene, and so yeah, just like the muted blues and purples. And
Love what you've done here in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that you've silhouetted the characters, and then carried that same look down here in this.
yeah, thank you.
Very cool. Nicely done. I think that I think that this is to me, this is a good example of why I say that you're a good colorist, because this is a scene that is all about mood,
Right.
and I think that you really I think that you did the storytelling job here for sure on this.
Thank you.
And also, you also noticed you talked about color holds and stuff. That's how you dock the background back here. You were talking
Right.
about that. You color holded on this clearly,
Exactly. Like I didn't want the black to compete with her, like her dress and
right?
the kid's hair, and just kind of bleed in together.
Yeah.
So you want to knock that back to give some depth and some
Very
separation.
subtle stuff. It's the sort of thing that
Yeah.
if you're not doing this, you probably miss it. But you did a
Right.
great job on that.
Yeah,
Thank
I'd
you.
mess that up.
And again, look, coloring is, again, penciling is its own thing, inking is its own thing, and coloring is its own thing. It's tough to do it all. It's tough
Yeah.
to do it all, and it's even tougher to do it all with other people's stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of easier to do it on your stuff because you know what you intended. When you start
Right.
doing other people's stuff, it becomes more complicated.
Right.
This looks like it's from the same story here.
It is. Yeah. It's the last page.
Very cool. Nice. And again, great mood.
I'm
Oh, are we getting comments here? Hang on. Hello,
Yeah,
Betty.
Betty's here.
That's good stuff. We like that. Let's talk about Wirehead. What's up with this?
Again, that's Rob Geronimo's project, Wirehead, and that's just that piece. That's the stretch goal is in this book, and that's why my name is on there, because I'm one of the artists who did a piece for the project, just as fan art.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. What is this?
And that is the curse. That's Equinox
Oh, that's the
Comics
Kid
character.
Ninja. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's not in any of the books. That's just something I did for fun. I just wanted to draw something, so I drew that.
Just something really awesome for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love. I have to tell you. Go ahead and tell people what this is.
This is from the High Chaparral. This is the character Manolito.
Hi,
My mom loved Manolito, and it's so funny that you picked Manolito here to do a great picture. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that show. I've got the DVDs collection. And my
Do
wife
you
and I
really?
yeah, my wife and I like watching them.
were we not just talking about that the other night, Sean?
Maybe
Weren't we talking about High Chaparral?
I indirectly, I think
we got on the subject kind of old westerns, and I believe that was one of the ones that we mentioned. But anyway, great piece. What
Thanks.
did you? Is this analog or is this digital?
That's digital. That's Clip Studio.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well done.
Thank you.
How about this?
Yeah, so there's a Spaniard artist. His name is, I wrote it down there.
Massimo?
Yeah, Massimo, and I can't remember his last name. And he's a great artist, and he draws Tex Willer. He's this cowboy character that's a European comic. And I love the artwork on it, and so I was just trying to replicate this piece that he had done.
This kind of reminds me of like a kind of an Alex Toth
Yeah, I could see
look
that.
to me.
Mm-hmm. I could see some of that too.
I want to get on a little closer on this so people can see what's going on there. That's a really cool piece, man.
Yeah, it's just practice for me. Just
I dig that. Most people just draw pictures of Venom all the time. It's just all Venom.
God.
Here's my picture of Venom. Very few people do pictures of Manolito and the Universal Monsters and cool European Western
yeah, I like old
inspired
stuff. Man.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that deeply. This is more Wirehead stuff.
right. Yeah,
Didn't you say that you did something here that ended up on an album?
Yeah, that's the album cover. He used my artwork for the album cover.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. It's definitely an honor.
That's a cool piece too. Well done. All right.
Yeah, that was all done in the Clip Studio.
Beginning to end. This is recent.
Yeah, that was
21?
right. That was right after the show ended, and I enjoyed the show, so thought I'd draw something.
I usually get inspired by that sort of stuff too. It's like, I want to do my version of that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
same
Same sort of thing here,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice piece, man. Your pencils here are super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice style. And this is real recent.
Yeah, so the same guy, Rob Geronimo, he hosts a show every Tuesday night where they get together and
His
draw.
name is Rob Geronimo.
Rob Geronimo. Yeah,
Is that his real name?
yeah, that's his real name.
That's like the coolest name ever.
Yeah. So he has this Tuesday night show where they get together and they'll pick a theme and they'll draw. And I think the theme here was Behemoth. And
All right.
so yeah, and I'm really into Lovecraft monsters, and so I want to draw like this Lovecraft Behemoth type monster. And so I did this drawing.
You did this during the show
The black and white version, yeah. But
and then colored it afterward?
right, I went back and colored it, cleaned it up some.
I mean,
Really nice.
yeah, well done.
Thank you.
You can see kind of some of the effects that you've got here with the stuff and all whatever is going on here with these, which I think is really neat. Did you put that in after the fact?
Yeah.
Again, great mood, really cool piece. I enjoy this actually quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I think that's the end of my show there.
Okay.
I just wanted people to see what kind of artwork that you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Because it's one thing to talk about these things, quite another to see the sort of stuff that you're doing, and I think you're doing great work.
Thank you.
What advice would you have for other artists?
If you want to draw comics. Don't wait till you're better. Don't wait till you're good, because you're never going to be good enough.
That's great advice.
You're never going to be good enough, and so just do it now. Just do it now. You're going to be a better artist tomorrow.
So
You're
true.
going to be a better writer tomorrow.
And you're only going to be better if you're doing it.
Right. Yes, but you're not promised tomorrow, so do it today.
Yeah, amen on that message.
Amen on that.
Yep, for sure. Who are your influences?
So when I started off, I was a huge Mark Bagley fan. I loved his Spider-Man work. Jim Lee, of course. Like, I don't know what artist isn't inspired by Jim Lee.
Like almost literally everyone.
Right. And then as far as colorists go, Betty Brightweiser.
I'm not familiar.
Betty Brightweiser?
Yeah.
She colored Fatal, and she did the Winter Soldier series that Ed Brubaker wrote. And then who else? Marty Gracia, who colors X-Men right now currently.
Cool.
But yeah, and that's about it. Butch Geist is another huge influence of mine right now.
Oh yeah.
As far as drawing goes.
Didn't he used to do Micronauts? Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
He's done so much over the years. I mean, Butch Geist is Jackson Geist, right? Same person, right?
Yeah, same person.
Yeah.
Sure, did a little run on Micronauts.
I mean, that guy's been around for 40 years now. I mean, I remember his pencils back on the day of when X Factor, like, probably not number one, but somewhere around that time. And yeah, I mean, that guy's incredible.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, she does Red Rooster with Mitch Brightweiser.
I was hoping that Mike was still watching.
Yeah.
Because I knew he'd have some comments on that. Ben, what do you have coming up next? You said you've got a kind of a project that you're working on a little bit.
Yeah, probably won't be released till next year. But yeah, it's called Westward Darkly, and it's a like I said, it's a Western, but it's Lovecraft, very heavily influenced by Lovecraft.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'll come back on the show whenever it's ready, and we'll talk about it then.
You are welcome anytime.
All right, cool.
You're welcome anytime. Let's make sure that we get your stuff here. Do you guys have any other questions? Anyone out there, or either you two have any other questions here for Ben?
No, congratulations on getting the Kickstarter done. I know that's probably a big relief.
Oh yeah, you put something funded.
I mean, everything from here on out is gravy, and if people, $25 for a trade paperback over 100 pages, that's a good deal, especially for independent comics.
That's amazing.
And
single issues some people are charging $25.
And just so people know, if they're watching this later, you can get a book and a sketch for $60, which, I mean, none of us artists like working for just like $35 for a sketch, but we'll do it. So take advantage of these good deals that Ben has on here. And man, this double pack is that really 2 trade paperbacks?
Yeah.
For $40. So
what are the 2 trade paperbacks?
2 of the same ones. So like if me and you wanted to go in on it, Dirk, we could save money.
I see.
Yeah. It's a good deal. I mean, if you're a shop out there too, that's a good way to get some copies.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's some good stuff on here. So
thank you,
get
Scott.
out there and support this. If you love independent comics,
please help out our guests.
Is there a barcode on this, Ben? Because my biggest complaint about a certain store is that they slap their own barcodes on these comics.
No, there's no barcode on it.
That means they're going to slap a barcode on this. So you need to buy this from Ben tonight.
Buy it directly.
Go to Indiegogo, support Ben, so you do not have to worry about trying to take a sticker off your damn comic books, because that's not supposed to happen. I could rant and rant and rant. Thank God that local stores support Ben, but don't put stickers on comics. Comic people are weird.
Yeah.
We got Tony on deck here. I'm gonna give you another couple. We're about to bring Tony in here. I want to say Brian James says, Mr. Hooper, the entire panel is doing a sensational job today. You're all terrific.
I think that guy's full of baloney.
Damn.
He's full of something. He might be full of Mai Tais after going to
Hawaii.
To Hawaii for the last couple of weeks. Let's see. What do we got here? I want to make sure to do these last 2 things again. Again, there's the Indiegogo campaign, and we will mention it later on. But go over there right now, please, and help support Ben on this project. And if you're interested in keeping up with him, you can go to this Facebook group right here.
Ben, is the end product going to come out right around Halloween time? Is that the planning here? That's why you're doing it so early?
Yeah, I mean, all the art's already done. I am remastering the first issue, the first 2 stories.
Ooh, remastering. What does that mean?
There's some things I wanted to touch up and clean up. A lot of
Cool.
yeah, and also re-letter because the lettering was terrible. It was my first time lettering, which I've improved.
That's
upon.
another thing.
Yeah,
That's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. How difficult lettering is, and how much it affects that overall deal.
Yes.
G.A. Langaro did a comic, and his lettering is great in this thing. And I asked him about who does your lettering and stuff, and it's like someone who knows what they're doing. It's an actual letterer. It makes a big difference.
It really does. Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
All right, we are going to bring someone else in here, and here he comes. Let's do that. And this is Tony. How you doing, Tony?
Hey.
Doing all right.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Scott.
Tony has something coming up here. I'm gonna introduce him first, and then we're gonna talk about what he's got coming up. His bio says, "I've been a gamer since 1980 when I was introduced to Dungeons and Dragons by a counselor at my junior high school. The counselor introduced it to you. That's interesting. From that small seed, it has grown to where I have played numerous other RPGs, board games, tabletop war games, and online gaming, just like Scott, who's played every game ever."
Not true.
Tony says, quote, I'm also retired from the United States Air Force. Thank you for your service. While serving over 25 years, I made some great gaming friends, one of those being John Russell. He is the man responsible for Twisted Lords Con, and that's why you're here with us today. Tell us a little bit about Twisted Lords Con.
Twisted Lords Con is a gaming convention that we have here in Oklahoma City. This is actually our 7th year. Previously, we were known as Warlord Games Open Games Day. We combined, though, with TwisterCon, which was a separate gaming convention that kind of went by the wayside. The gentleman that was running that, medical issues forced him to move to New Mexico. So we said, hey, we don't want to leave your gamers in the lurch. Come join us. And we turned it into Twisted Lords.
So what is Twisted Lords?
Twisted Lords is where we bring in all the games. We bring in the rules. We bring in the miniatures. We bring the dice. We bring the paper, pencil, whatever is needed to play a game. And it can be anything from some simple card games to board games to tabletop war games. Some of the big things, one of the things that we normally do every year is we have a bolt action tournament, which is World War II based. You have armies from the US, Japan, Germany, and these are all armies that guys paint and bring in and have them fight. They fight each other in a tournament to see who is the best strategist or best dice roll overall. Because you know how it is, you have a plan that you want to execute, but dice rolls don't always go your way. We've also had tournaments where we did Test of Honor, which was a samurai game, where you had samurais fighting each other. This year we're also having a Blood Red Skies tournament, which is a flying game using aircraft. We're also having our first ever Blood Bowl tournament, which I get the honor of running. So it's going to be interesting for me. But it's just a matter of, we have games that range anywhere from, with the tabletop wargaming, ranges anywhere from the time of the Romans versus the Egyptians, all the way up to futuristic. We've even got Judge Dredd. We may have some Doctor Who going on there as well. We've got even some ocean-based games, Cruel Seas, which is the PT boats and things like that back during World War II. Black Seas, which is the times of the trying to get my years right on this, when the Pirates, the Caribbean type thing was going around. But yeah, it's
1700s.
Yeah, 1600s. There we go. Yeah, it's all during that time frame.
I'm gonna guess yesterday.
Yeah, it's a huge mix of stuff. It's like you come in and you don't have to bring a game with you, except for Scott, since Scott has opted to participate in the Blood Bowl tournament. He's got to bring his team. But yeah, you just bring your desire to learn something or try something, or even if it's something you've played before, it's something that you just want to sit there and make new friends and play again.
So where is this located at, Tony?
This is being held at the Reed Center there in Midwest City, right next to the Sheridan.
Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Yep, we are up on the second floor. We take over pretty much the whole space up there. I think there's only 2 rooms we didn't get this year. But we seem to keep growing, so I'm willing to bet next year we're going to have to take over that whole top area.
When does it start?
It actually starts this Friday, 12 noon. Currently, right now, you can register online and pay the online registration fee, which is cheaper than purchasing at the door. Unfortunately, registration closes tonight. So,
okay. So if you're interested, you need to get in tonight.
Yeah. Now, the nice thing is when you go in and you register, go out there and take a look around and see what games are being offered. You can actually save yourself a spot in a game before you even walk in through the door. So like on Saturday, there was a lot of stuff being run out there that you go and like, ooh, that game looks interesting. I want to go ahead and sign up for that one. And you can add that to your, it doesn't cost anything to add it. It's just the standard fee for getting in for a Saturday is $22. If you come in at the door and pay, it goes up $5, it's $27. But if you go online, you can pick games that you want to play, such as we have Circus Maximus coming back again this year. If you ever saw Ben-Hur and wondered what it would be like to race chariots around that Colosseum in Rome, that's what that game is. And it's a lot more interesting and entertaining than what it is in the movie. We also have a game being brought to us called Shootout at Dry Gulch, which is a Western. You can participate in that. You have like a team of 3 guys, and you're trying to survive and earn money to the very end of the game.
What is Walt talking about? Evil School Counselor?
Oh, because
his counselor got him into D&D.
Oh, I wasn't sure what he's talking about. That must have been a comment from much earlier. I know that some people are concerned about this sort of thing. Do you have any specific COVID precautions that people need to know about? Or
well, we will have hand sanitizer there on site for people to use if they wish to use it. There is currently no mask mandate in Midwest City, Del City, or within the state of Oklahoma. However, if you haven't had your vaccine, we do ask that you please wear your mask. But we're not medical experts. We're not we have to follow the HIPAA laws. We can't ask you if you've had your vaccine or not. And we're not going to, we're not going to sit there and say, oh, you haven't had one, you got to wear a mask. It's, we all want to game together, play together, and whatnot. So we just kind of ask that you be kind of concerned for your fellow man. We all want to have fun and whatnot. All want to enjoy. We can understand, though, that sometimes having that mask on all day long, my job that I have, I'm retired Air Force, but I am working back at our ticker again, and I'm in a federal facility. And I will admit to you, I have not had the vaccine yet. So I must wear a mask the whole time that I am out there. So after 8 hours in a day, it does get kind of, I'm glad when I get to the car, I take the thing off. But there is no mandate in place right now. And so we're following to see what the CDC says, what the state of Oklahoma says. So if they mandate something, then of course we will follow along with what the state comes down and says, hey, you must do this.
But I doubt seriously they will change that by this weekend.
I don't think that might be.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Scott, what are you doing at this this con?
Tony's running a Blood Bowl tournament, so I'm going to go to an event as a fan and not run an event.
How about that?
Hey, but I know it's going to happen because running a tournament, especially Blood Bowl, is kind of overwhelming at first. So I'll probably be there to assist if Tony needs help or whatever. But otherwise, I'm going to let him, kind of blaze his own path and make his own mistakes or whatever he wants to do. I'll say my piece, and if he listens, fine, and if he doesn't, it's on him. So I just look forward to actually getting out and actually kind of going to a con and being around people and remembering what the world was like 2 years ago. Right. So it shall be interesting. I've never been to Twisted Lords Con, so it's going to be, definitely different. I mean, I'm used to board games and stuff, and I'm assuming that's going to go on. And probably, I assume if you love board games, you can take them to Twisted Lords Con, set up, and people come flock to you. Is that right, Tony?
Well, if we have an open table, then yes, you can bring a board game. Now, the Oklahoma Tabletop Gaming Group, they're going to be there, and they normally bring in a large cart filled with games. And
there you go, right there.
And they're there all weekend long. Now, they may not have everything, such as some of the Kickstarter stuff that's out there that I picked up, like Underground, which is a game where you're playing in the London Underground. Latest one I got was the Big Trouble in Little China board game. I brought that last year and was in the middle of setting that up on Sunday. But
I didn't know that even existed.
I'm also a worker at the con, so I had to go. I was working on it, and I had got pulled away because people were like, "Ooh, we want to play this." It's like, yeah, I'd like to run it, but people keep giving me for other stuff, so I didn't get a chance to run it. And this year, my wife and I are both hoping with registration, and I go run the Twisted Blood Bowl tournament. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to run it this year. But if there's an open table that no one is using, we got no problem with you occupying it. It's just a matter of if the person that actually owns the table, because they're running a demo of the game, comes in, you may have to get up and move somewhere else. So
but there'll be plenty of. I mean, there's gonna if you just like board games or other miniature games and stuff. I know these companies show demos and everything else, so it's a good way to kind of get out and escape and remember, like I said, what life was 2 years ago. So register now.
Well, a lot of these people that are here are people that they don't really. John Russell actually works for Warlord Games, but this has been his baby since before he worked for Warlord Games. He started off with a very small convention hall in a hotel right next to the Reed Center, and I went to his very first one. And I told him, "It looks like you need some help," because it was just he was running from place to place, and he said, "Yes, you're hired." And the thing that kind of sealed the deal for him was I worked for him while I was active duty, because he was also an active duty captain. So he knew what I could bring to the table. So it was kind of like, yeah, it was an easy hire there. But a lot of the people that are running the demos of the games are people that it's a matter of the love that they have for the game. It's a love that they have for creating the terrain. We have a gentleman that is running a Battle of Stalingrad, where it's Russians versus the Germans. And I believe he has put the table together all himself. We have another gentleman, he does a battle, it's called Battle of the Boot, which is from Italy, where you have the Americans taking on Italians. And it's part countryside, part village, and I mean, it's just phenomenal. Some of the stuff that they do to create the scenes and everything for you to be in. The Shoot at the Dry Gulch is also another example. The miniatures are lovingly painted. The buildings, everything that's set up. I mean, it's just great what people put into it, and yeah, it's just amazing what they get to show off. We will have a company there, I believe it's called New Comic Games. They're going to be demonstrating their game, Ultimate Dinosaur Fighting. But I believe they're the only ones that, other than Warlord's, going to be there. But Warlord itself is not really running in the demos. It's people that are just friends of us that love Warlord games that are running their games. So,
well, the guy who created Ultimate Dinosaur Fighting, that's Ben Burns. He also is a Blood Bowler, and I've been to many of his events down in Texas. So, good guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen him get a reserve spot yet. So if you want to play him in Blood Bowl, you're going to have to talk to him, I guess. Because he might be too busy running his table if his game is really good.
I mean, I'm assuming his company takes more precedent, but yeah, he's a good person.
One other thing I'd like to mention about the Blood Bowl tournament, we actually have a sponsor this year from Grebo Games. So nice. They make a wonderful line of miniatures. I have behind me on a table over there a entire team that's going to go to the grand prize winner. I also have the grand prize winner, or who comes in first place, will get a choice. They can either pick up the team from Grebo Games, or they can pick a pitch up that I picked up from a local store. But then I also have certain special characters from Grebo Games that the winner of most touchdowns, most casualties caused, and best painted team will be able to choose from to take home with themselves. And there's a little something for everyone that participates in the tournament that I got to decide as well.
Good.
Tony, if people are interested, where should they go to get that pre-order?
They need to go to the tabletop events site. That's where they can get their tickets.
Okay, that's that right there.
That's that one there. And if they were to go to the Twisted Lords Con page, it will direct you back to the tabletop events page to sign up.
And you say that this is the last night that they can do that and get the discount?
At 11:59 tonight, the online purchasing gets shut down because we've got to make up badges. I'm actually the person that makes up all the badges. So I will be busy making badges tomorrow, or finishing up what I started, and to get those all ready to go.
How many people are you expecting?
Well, I will say this: I've got 152 badges total that I've had to print up so far.
Nice. I mean, that's a good turnout.
Yes, that's a good turnout. I mean, last year, even with the pandemic being in place, we still had 100 people. And I think the reason why we're having a lot of people back this year That's because we were one of the few cons that actually went ahead and still ran.
Yeah.
And with what we did, we were able to do it. No one got infected. There were no outbreaks, no super spreader event, nothing. We did what we needed to make sure that it was okay, and we were able to game, have fun.
That right there is the most important thing you've said tonight. I mean, if you did it right in the middle of it last year and had no problems, then people should feel pretty confident to get out and have some fun this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's a great place to be. A lot of fun to be had. If you do come out, I recommend. We're running 2 sessions of Circus Maximus. I recommend that you definitely play that one, because that one is. I actually won $30 off that game last year.
Wait a minute. Are you betting on these games?
Well, no. There is a twist to it where people can put bets out there. Someone likes to watch to. They can throw $10 into the middle of the arena. And says, okay, whoever kills off the first other driver, because it happens.
That's another level. That's another level. This guys.
Someone put out there $10 would go to whoever came in last place. And then one of my co-workers there at the con, who he'd run his tournament, he'd had a beer or two. He came up and he saw that I was playing. He said, okay, here's $20. Whoever kills off Tony wins $20. So there's 14 people playing this game, and I had everybody gunning for me.
I mean, that's only right, Tony. That's all right.
Wow.
But game
wow,
came
that's dirty.
I was in last place and still alive. I walked away with $30. So
wow.
Okay.
Well done. Well done. Is there anything else that anyone wants to say before I wrap this up with Tony?
I think we covered it.
Did we cover it? All right. Well, once again, thanks to Tony for being on here. Go ahead, Tony.
Are you from Lubbock? Or did you just go to school there?
No, I was born in Edinburgh, Texas, but I did move there when I was about 17, 18.
Oh, okay. I graduated Coronado High School in Lubbock. Then joined the military, see places. Yeah, so.
Oh, nice.
You guys from the same neck of woods?
Get your guns up.
Oh, yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, no kidding. So, look, if anyone's interested, you can go over to Twisted Lords Con. I'm sure that you got a link to the deal on that. And also, there's that tabletop events deal. Tony, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
And again, you're welcome back anytime, man. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you. We'll see you this weekend, Scott. Hey, if you guys can make it out, come on out. We'd love to see y'all.
We'll see you Saturday, Tony.
Okay. Hey, maybe some year you guys might like to do a live broadcast from out there. Possibilities.
We've been talking about doing something like that. So yeah, that would be fun.
Okay.
We'd love to do it.
You guys need to see what's there and what
we're going to have to get our act together to be doing live remotes. But
one other thing, as it stands right now, we have 14 vendors out there at this con this year. So
that's good.
There should be someone there that can fill your gaming need. If not, then you're probably want something really extravagant.
And probably bringing some crazy stuff that you wouldn't see anywhere else, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Very cool. Hey, Tony, thank you again.
Thank you again. You guys have a good night.
All right. Take care.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's reset here. Our next thing that we're going to talk about is our own gaming night that we had over the weekend.
We don't get a segment. We don't get some music.
You want some excitement?
Yeah, I want some music.
We don't really have.
Man.
Okay, let's try this.
It doesn't matter. Just hit something.
Here it comes. I don't really have a thing for gaming.
That was not exciting.
Was some excitement?
That was kind of mellow.
It's kind of like
that's like slow jazz, man.
As a person that doesn't smoke weed, I imagine somebody that does would have loved that music just to chill.
Maybe that's appropriate for this segment, Scott.
Maybe
that's how we all got together and chilled.
We didn't chill like that. Don't mislead people. The only thing that was consumed was soda and
pizza.
And some pizza. In some vile language.
There was some language.
Dude, we never get together without some vile language.
In fact, this show is probably the cleanest I think any of us have been.
Oh, by far. by far. Since
And
it's
it's a
broadcast
struggle.
and stuff, we're trying to be good.
So-
Tony says, Scott, because of your post about Nemesis and how much I want that game, my wife is going to get it for me for our anniversary.
Tony, I highly recommend, because you think you're going to paint the miniatures, but you're not. Just buy the sun drop stuff that's already has the textures and stuff on there.
Yep,
It's
that
worth
takes
it.
care of that.
I highly recommend it, and you're not going to believe me, and you're going to go, I'll paint them. No, you're not. Save your life. Enjoy the game. You can paint miniatures elsewhere later.
Walt says
Anyways.
that's closing music.
That's closing music. Yeah, kind of.
Sean, what have you shared here?
That's for later.
That's for later.
All right.
So what are we talking about?
I will defer to Scott to set up our gaming weekend.
Well,
Or our gaming, not our weekend, but our
I don't
evening.
really have any pictures of this, unless
Okay, hang on.
Sean goes back. Already had Sean doing some stuff. So to set this up,
Jesus.
out of all of us, I probably definitely play the most games.
by far. You
By
mean
far. Tony,
you mean
don't
more than any
waste
other
your
person on the
time
planet?
painting. Don't waste your time painting X-Men Alert. That is a child's game that I love and adore and have it in my collection, but do not waste your time painting that. You make enough money where you can hand those off and say, hey, college kid, I'll give you $100 to paint these. Because you're not going to play it enough. Tony, just listen to me.
wow?
I'm wise in this. And you make more money than me, so you can afford it.
Wow.
If I can afford it, you can afford it. I've been on the guys because Dirk and Sean are very busy every weekend for their whole lives. And I finally was like, we got to make some time. And Sean finally, I think, shut me up about it and said, fine, in 2 weeks. And so 2 weeks later, or at least what I thought was 2 weeks later. Anyways, long story short, we got together 2 weeks later and we decided to play Nemesis. It was kind of important to me to get Sean to play this because I know he is a big horror fan and a sci-fi fan and aliens fan, and being a child from the 80s, which is Sean is definitely into all of those things. Nemesis is the board game that is the second Aliens movie all in one package, and
That's the first one as well.
I guess it could be both. Yeah, to be honest, I never saw
It's
the
got
first
a little
one.
bit of the third.
I mean, I've told this story before. I didn't get to watch Alien because my parents said it'd give me nightmares, and it probably would have. So I never saw Alien. So
My mom
and
told
I
me the
think-
same thing.
right,
That
And
I
you
watched on
watched it
HBO.
anyways.
Yep.
yeah, you watched it, and look how creepy you are now.
I
So,
love it.
anyways, I'm still pure. I'm still pure. So we got together, and in this trilogy of playing games, do I need to show the box or Sean?
Sure.
Looking for pictures?
He's
I think
got some
Sean-
pictures. You want to
Okay.
go to pictures now? Or
Yeah,
you
let
wanna-
me talk. You can kind of show some of these things off. So how this came about is me and Jennifer, there's Jennifer right there. We played the first one with some friends, and Jennifer's captain was the only one that survived. I think our first, like, we call these movies because they always feel like movies. I think it was me,
That's our buddy,
Dirk,
Gary.
Robert, and myself played the very first movie, and Jennifer's character was the only one that survived. She did not win the game because you have your own private objectives. At the same time, you might be trying to betray people in your crew, just like in the movies. And then we got together as me, Gary, and Jennifer. We played the second in our trilogy, where we the convict escaped as well as the captain, but the convict actually won the game. So that was like our very first time with finally winning the game. The convict, ironically enough, needed the bounty hunter to die, who's the one who imprisoned him in the first
What's
place.
up with that? Is it just not loading?
Might not be loading.
There we
So
go.
we
What the
decided, since
heck
Jennifer
is
keeps-
going on here?
this is called the blackout. I don't know. Oh, that is that was a funny picture. Just let it be. I was whispering sweet nothings into Gary's ear, and he actually went along with it. And you know me, I'm ready to be a jackass for anybody. So,
You guys, as long as we've known each other, you guys have known each other longer.
oh
so
yeah.
Walt is questioning
35
about you
plus
being still pure,
Oh, I'm pretty pure, Walt. I'm about as pure as they come, man.
and Tony's laughing at you.
I'm like Rocky Mountain water in that stream. You can just go, it's so refreshing. Oh, it's so good, cold. So I wanted Sean to come over to play the third installment.
What the heck? Am I going to have to censor you?
No, I'm talking about water, like from the in the Rocky Mountains, it goes down the rapids, and it tastes so good. That's what I'm like. See what you got yourself into, Ben. It was important for me to get Sean there, and we were going to play the trilogy in this, and this was going to be the last time we were going to let Jennifer play the captain in hopes that she could achieve her like personal goal. She survived 3 movies. We had a great night. It was really funny. For the first time, aliens were like everywhere, and we were kind of killing them, and we were all really working together great. And what's funny about Nemesis is at times, after every round, you pull an event card. And the event card could be something as crazy as like the doors go up everywhere, to like the aliens want to move faster, or they retreat, or a fire breaks out in a random room. Well, in this game, if more than 8 little pods of rooms break down, the ship blows up because it doesn't have hull integrity anymore.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Tony. That's how many fish poop in that stream.
Well, that's all right. Man, you eat at fast food places, so that's all I'm going to say. Anyways, what was really cool about this game is I felt like every one of us was actually working together in this game, and lo and behold, the game eventually won because we pulled an event card. We fixed all the damaged rooms in the right rooms, but it had us lay down 4 more tiles of breaking down, and that was just too much, and the hull died. So it kind of felt anticlimactic because, if you're watching this movie and all of a sudden the ship blows up and then they roll
thematically, it's difficult to swallow that you watch this entire thing go through its paces and then like the ship just blows up.
I mean, for nearly 4 hours we played this game, and we secretly were trying to decide if people were really working together, they were being mischievous, and we come to find out.
I think by the end we had all kind of decided that we were actually all working together.
Well, this is a game
and then the ship blew up.
It really is a game that you kind of have to work together just to survive.
I mean, even if you
hope you win.
Yeah, even if you are against people, you're going to have to work a little bit together. You're not going to make it.
By the time we ended the game, right before the ship blew up, Sean had an embryo implanted in him, so he was gonna turn eventually. That thing was gonna chest burst to him in time. But anyways, it was a good time.
Sean was a soldier.
Yeah, Sean was the soldier. You were the
android.
The cyborg. Gary was the bounty hunter, the brother of the other dead bounty hunter that took in my convict. I was the same convict, and Jim was the captain again. So we have no surviving people in our franchise, so we're definitely going to have to start this over. The good news is like I got different aliens that do different things.
You can have Jen's captain cloned.
No,
and brought into the next deal.
No.
We can find an excuse for her to come back.
What I do love about the Nemesis game, it's very, very difficult just to survive, and it's even harder to actually achieve your goal and win. Every time I played it, I still have fun, even though we barely ever
Tony wants you to demo it, Twisted Lords.
Oh, Lord, no.
It's a lot to set up.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of complicated, but once you get going on it,
there's a lot of steps.
Pretty. As long as you have someone who knows what they're doing, it's good. But there are a lot of steps. But I mean, it seems like if you have someone who's aware of the rules, then it goes pretty easy.
Anyway, so we had a good time doing that. Afterwards, I mean, the only good thing about the ship blowing up and us dying at like 10 o'clock instead of playing it out till 12 o'clock and still dying is everybody still wanted to play some games. So do you have pictures of Camp Grizzly, Sean?
I was just about to put it.
Oh, you got some? You post them then, Dirk.
No,
we played this game. Another game we played that I was really happy to get Sean a part of is, I know Sean loves these crappy old horror movies.
Watch it.
They're crap, Sean.
Watch it.
Anyways, I have a game called Camp Grizzly. It's very thematic, where you're at a school counselor, or you're a camp counselor at a summer camp, and everybody takes the roles of these like dumb teenagers that's watching over other kids. And of course, there's a killer, and he wears a bear mask, and he goes by the name Otis. And so when in this game, you kind of move around and you want to try to find, you have objectives to find, like you want to like get some car keys, a car battery, and some gas so you can escape in the car. Or you want the boat keys and you want some gas, or I'm sorry, a rope and a crank so you can get the motor started on the boat and drive off that way. There's like 4 ways to end this, but it's so hard. And in this game, you always flip over a card at the end of your turn, which is kind of gives you like some weird plot things, like the fog might roll in, and it's hard to see.
Look, I'm sharing it, Kevin.
Are you?
Kevin, he's gonna share it. Yeah, just share it. There's other things where, like Otis, you might find dead bodies of other camp counselors inside the game, and the more people die, Otis gets stronger and stronger and stronger. There it is. That's the kind of general layout. It looks very simple, and in reality, the game is a pretty simple game in effect. But man, it is.
Yeah, this is like almost the antithesis of Nemesis, because it is not complicated. It seems like at all. I mean, there's a lot of random elements. Otis can show up at strange times. He can be all the way across the board and then show up right next to you because of the way that the cards work and stuff. It's not a complicated game.
No, and I usually have a ton of laughter because like goofy things happen, and there's even these little plot cards that you can flip over and say like,
for being a horror game, it is very lighthearted.
Yeah, and it's like you could go skinny dipping, and you could take any of the counselors and take them over to near the boat area, the docks, and go skinny dipping and make out with somebody. So it's so thematic. It's crazy. Sean was dying laughing every time we flipped over a card. And I think it was because it just reminded him of these crappy movies. Like, there's no way we're going to win this. Otis is going to beat us to death. And yeah, he ended up doing that. So
you and I are going to have a word on crappy.
What do you mean? Those movies suck, Sean.
You suck. Don't be talking bad about
movies.
Don't be talking bad about my past.
Well, you can love them, but they still
Is
suck.
that the only picture that we have of the?
That probably is. I didn't take many pictures, so I was very unprepared for this segment.
Actually, was not our game.
There we go.
This is.
Oh.
Okay.
This was from a different game.
When you get axed, you kick over your character,
and they stay on the board
like that, and they stay on the board.
You can come back to life.
Because you can come back to life, and you also carry stuff that other people might want. There's Otis right there.
It's a great thematic game. I'm going to tell people right now, if you are watching this game is no longer in print. From what I've heard, the guy who created this game doesn't want anything to do with this game. He had a successful Kickstarter or something like that, and he's just burnt out. And this is, in the game board community, this is like a big cult classic. This is like the McRib. Everybody wants it, but it's not around. To be honest, Jennifer.
So you have to buy it from Etsy or something if you want it.
See, Tony has a great wife because she wants to get Tony a $150 board game. I too have a great girl in my life, and she got me my copy of Camp Grizzly she found it for only $200. And I say only because there's many listed right now on eBay for $350 and up. Like I said, this game is a super cult classic and a collectible, but it is so much fun. And even my kids, I can't say enough how my kids find this game hilarious, because my 14-year-old is starting to find these crappy horror movies that like Sean likes, and she loves the campiness and everything else about them. So 2 great games.
It's like he just can't help but stick the finger in the wound. It's just
dude, if you like him, it's okay.
Do you have sand in your eye? Do you have
I still buy Rob Liefeld comics, and people make fun of me. I like it. I like it. Give me some Liefeld. I like it.
Such an abusive person.
Sean, this is the first time you played either one of these games. What did you think about them?
The Nemesis was fun. That was That was a really good time. Much like Scott said prior to us coming over, he was all about this is your movie. This is Alien in a board game, and there were times that it felt like that. It really played out as a suspenseful thriller or horror, and
Scott keeps using the word thematic. It feels like if you wrote down the beats of the game, it kind of plays out like a movie, because there are things that happen that are kind of random. Both the times I played Nemesis, the Queen didn't come out either till the end or, in this latest one, she didn't come out at all. We went through almost all the aliens, and there's still no Queen. In the first game we played, the Queen shows up in the what do they call it, the hibernatorium or whatever.
Yeah, where you can go hibernate.
Where you go hibernate.
We didn't see her all game until I tried to climb in the pod.
It's all cool, and so we're all trying to wrap up this thing, and we go to the hibernatorium, and then here's the Queen. She's waiting on us, and rips us all asunder.
Dude, she hit me with a tail. What is it? A tail whip or whatever. All it said is, if you already have I think it was if this is the Queen, you're already dead.
Yeah, so you're done.
It doesn't matter. It was the one card in the deck that can kill you instantly, and that's how my character went out. I killed aliens left and right. Go in there, try to climb in my pod. She shows up, sneak attacks me.
You really can tell a story by playing these games, which I think is cool. It's very cool.
And that's what I was most kind of shocked by. As everything was ramping up, as everything was building up to different peaks, you get a card and you would have to check stats, and then you'd have to look, pull a token out of a blindly pull a token out of a black bag to see if something occurred or whatever, and everybody was on the edge of their toes. Oh crap, is this it? Is this where it happens? Is this my death, and so on?
Yeah.
And so yeah, even playing the game, it felt like one of those type of, if you're at all a fan of science fiction or monster movies or anything, this definitely was a blast to play.
What did you think about Camp Grizzly?
It was fun. It wasn't a very extensive game. It wasn't real long. I think that
which was just about right for one. We didn't want to play another 4-hour game.
I think the bad guy in that one, he felt a little overpowered to me.
He got overpowered quick.
it seemed like every time you'd flip a token, there he was, and it's like, really?
He was on top of us.
Even in my crappy Friday the 13th movies, Jason wasn't quite that benevolent. He was this Otis was there seemed to be a bit more the cards were stacked in his favor, no pun intended. Sure. And I believe, Scott, you even said that whenever you played it previously, that there was a more diverse pack, or that he was.
So Camp Grizzly has a couple of expansions. I know one of them adds more counselors and more cards. Another one is like a Jump the Shark expansion where Otis could end up being a robot, or you do something crazy like aliens show up. I don't know if there's more plot cards that go into that deck with weapons, or if they also have equal parts of Otis strikes. All I know is when I played this with the other group, we beat Otis, I would say 80% of the time. So I just don't know if it's bad luck, but we haven't won this game yet with my children, and they want to play it almost every night.
Really?
I think the real key here is you know how at the beginning of the game everybody gets 2 cards to put in their backpack, and or it could be a trait. Like mine was, I was the virgin, so nobody could make out with me. Usually you get weapons, and the last few times I played it, nobody's got a weapon. They might have got some trait, like they're creepy, or they got the cooties, or they're a virgin, but nobody's got a baseball bat or a chainsaw right off the bat. And when you can't fight Otis, he just hits you and keeps hitting you,
and then gets stronger.
And he gets stronger as you go. So I hope one day we can actually beat him in my copy. But I'll tell you this. It's going to be a sweet day when we do finally kick his butt, because we're going to remember it and everything. So, anyways.
Ronnie says, finally, hello, boys. Technical difficulties this evening, rebooted 4 freaking times. Hello, Ben Soto. Love the name. He says it's very Han Solo-ish.
Yeah, I've gotten that before.
So Ben,
you've probably heard that before.
Yeah.
Ben, don't listen to Ronnie.
He only knows about Lord of the Rings.
He only knows Lord of the Rings, and
He is not a boomer.
He's one of those.
A boomer. Yeah, we're calling him a boomer.
my kids call me a boomer all the time when I don't agree with them. They're like, "Dad, that's because you're a boomer." It's like, I'm not gonna let you put pizza on your face. So yeah, I'm a boomer.
This is the second time that I played Nemesis. I really enjoyed it. I'm ready to play it again. I really enjoy that game a lot. And what's amazing to me is that Scott has 2 or 3 other expansions that we haven't even touched. I mean, he's got other aliens, he's got other scenarios, he's got a whole book full of things where you can set up a scenario and then go in there and play these games and stuff. I mean, Nemesis is very much it's replayable. It is really high.
Well, there's even a solo mode that if you were a gamer that you don't have any friends that would play with you, or your family or wife doesn't play with you, there is a solo mode for Nemesis. A friend of mine, Jake Langham, he's playing through it with the solo mode, and he's enjoying it just as much. It's an expensive game. I mean, at retail is $140 or something, and that's not with the Sundrop miniatures with the textures and stuff on them and the inks. It's expensive.
These games.
But I mean, if you play
expensive.
it a bunch, then it's maybe worth it, And so
if you are in the market for these sort of things, this is one of the favorite games that I've played so far. I mean, I haven't played anywhere near as much. One of the things I really like about it is it's an alien game. I mean, so I'm invested in it from the very beginning of it. It's set in space. It's got cool. I got to play on Android. That's cool. Jerry says Camp Grizzly sounds a lot like Broken Lizard's Club Dread. Does anyone know what that is?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's by the Broken Lizard. They're the comedy troupe that did Super Troopers.
It really might be in that same vein. I mean, it really could be. Yes and no.
I mean, Club Dread was a slasher with a lot of comedy thrown in, and I could definitely see several of the scenarios that we played through being in that type of movie, especially the what was it, the skinny dipping sequence that did not pan out.
No, Otis attacked us as soon as we got naked.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
I enjoy Camp Grizzly too. I would gladly play that again. I wish that you had those expansions that you talk about.
Oh, I wish I did too. So,
if you happen to get them, I'd be more than glad. I'm glad to play the game as it is.
I'm
but
scared
if you
one
get
day.
Those, I would like to play those.
I'm scared one day I'm going to find them on eBay. Then I'm going to have to decide if it's worth $75 to get 10 new cards
to get some cards.
But
is it just 10 cards at a time?
I don't know. It's probably 20 to 25 to be honest with you. But
that is
the good news is I'm pretty stupid about board games. So
well,
the day
I mean, if your
away,
kids like them.
Well, the day I pass away, my children are going to sell all of these things for about $80 in a grilled cheese sandwich. So, Yeah, we got $100 for Dad's comics and his board games.
Oh, wow. That sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, Nemesis is. I'm just at a quick glance here. You can pick it up just the base game anywhere between 120 and 150. 150 on Amazon. So
Awesome.
definitely, if it's something, if it sounds interesting to you or sounds like something you might be interested in, please check it out.
Scott, you want to wait on the big weekend segment? You want to do that another time?
No, I can run it down real quick if you want. I'm not going to go detail by detail over everything. It's
all right. Here, let me see if I can get some exciting music for you guys. Here it comes. You just wanted some exciting music. It has nothing to do with this thing.
You didn't even change the title.
No, I said you wanted some exciting music. There it is.
No, let's make this like really like part of the segment. It's Tuesday. New comics are out. DC only. Boom. We just nailed it. So let's talk about. Dirk wanted me to talk about. Well, it's true. DC comics come out on Tuesday. You can pick up Superman and the Authority #1. Booster Gold, Blue Beetle #1. Anyways,
they're doing Blue Beetle and Booster Gold again
together for the first time in their own comic.
Not
They've
for the
rumored
first time.
about it. No, they've never had a series just by themselves.
Are you sure they didn't have something called Blue and Gold?
Nope, that was rumored for like 30 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Carry on.
So what Dirk wants me to talk about is for 4th of July, the last couple of years, we've gotten together.
Thank you, Jerry.
I have a friend who's a veteran, so he does not like fireworks, and he likes distractions. And he's moved away years ago, but he travels in, and we try to have like a board game weekend. And to be honest, this kind of started off as a excuse to get together because we had a friend who was at the time dying from cancer, even though he was not telling us he was dying. He said, we're fighting this, but we knew. And so we had a big board game weekend to make sure that we all got together for sure, and we were hoping that wouldn't be the last time. And then we planned to get together again last year, but with all this stuff that's happened in the world, we didn't do that. So we got together. We made sure that we got together again this weekend, or the weekend of 4th of July, to kind of celebrate, the last time we had Brian Hill around before he passed and everything else. So I don't want to keep it all like that. We got together and we brought a bunch of board games. And to be honest, I didn't feel like we really brought enough, but I was kind of glad we didn't bring a million of them because we'd only got to play everything once. I'm just going to give you the lowdown of everything we played and how many times we played it. This is from Thursday night till midnight on Sunday. We played 23 games total. I participated in 21 of those games. We played Nemesis 3 times. We played Dice Throne 3 times. We played a game called Valor and Villainy, Minions of Mordak 2 times. We played Oath 1 time, Dead of Winter 1 time, Trials by Trolley 1 time, Budding Kingdom once, Marvel United 4 times. That number's a little high because me and Jennifer kept getting our butt kicked by the Rhino, and we just kept playing them over and over again because we were pissed off. Red Dragon Inn 2, we played once. Camp Grizzly twice. Fortune and Glory once, which is kind of like Indiana Jones in a box. Poopocalypse once. Cucumber Sandwich once. And a game called Camel Up once, which is horse racing camels. So we already talked about Nemesis.
Camel Up.
I'm gonna go through these real quick, and I got a few little pictures here to show things, just in case. I'm gonna kind of showcase some of the lighter games because I know everybody that watches this doesn't want to spend $150 and then play for 6 hours just for the shit to blow up. And they said I've wasted my whole night. So I talked about Nemesis already. Dice Throne. This is a really cool little game where you have 2 characters.
Like that art.
Could be a 2-player game. It could be a 4-player game if you get 2 boxes. Every box has 2 different characters in it. It comes with different dice. It's really, really, really well packaged. I'm telling you what. You get one of these things here, and inside there is your dice, your tokens, everything you need to play. It's kind of a mix between kind of like almost like a Yahtzee where you roll some dice 3 different times and you want these dice combinations to do superpowers, and you have cards and powers like a magic power, kind of like Magic the Gathering a little bit. One-on-one battles, I think these are only like $20 or $25, so you can pick up one really easy, really nice to play. There's Dice Throne. Valor and Villainy, we played that twice. That is a 1 versus mini game. So Nemesis is a game where you play everybody versus the game. One person controls Mordak, who's like the overlord bad guy, and everybody else plays the adventurers. It kind of reminded me of, if you ever played the game Skylanders, kind of humorous, and like a humorous version of World of Warcraft. Played Oath. That one is really deep. It will blow your brain. It took us maybe 5-6 hours just to play that one alone. I would play it again, but man, it is another level of thinking. Dead of Winter zombie game. I realized I hate that game after playing it. I know I own it, but it's been like 6 years since I played it, and now I hate it. Trial by Trolley. This is another one for, I would say, families or simple gamers. It's very simple. There's a trolley. He's going down some tracks. You randomly will get a sign like, oh, it's a kid with an ice cream cone. Or should the trolley hit the old people? You decide. And then what you take turns doing is the other team will add, you might add Adolf Hitler over here with the kid with the ice cream cone. So if the trolley goes down there, it's going to kill 2 people, right? And then you have another step in there where you could say like, but this little kid cures cancer. So like you can give them attributes and stuff. And after like 3 rounds of adding stuff to the tracks, then the person who's the conductor decides who he's going to slaughter. It is amazing. This is the one that sold at like Target. My kids love this. You even get a chance to argue your case on why you should hit the other one versus the other trolley. I know there's some more adult content expansions out there that aren't in this.
Yeah, because slaughtering old people and Hitler, that's not.
Well, if you're familiar with Cyanide,
that's a great family game.
If you're familiar with Cyanide and Happiness, you know their humor is very crude, and they've done some other games. But this is amazing because you don't care if you win or lose. It's kind of just fun. And I really hate games like Apples to Apples. I'd rather punch myself in the nuts than play Apples to Apples. I hate that game with a passion, and if somebody tells me they love it, I look at you different and I don't like you as much. But this is kind of similar, and at least I laugh at it, so it's fun. Let's see, going back, Bunny Kingdom. That's a game made by the guy who created Magic, Richard Garfield. Check it out. Already talked about Marvel United before. It's superheroes. Red Dragon Inn, really quick. So you go on an adventure in D&D. Well, after you have an adventure in D&D and you raid the dungeon, you got to go back to the bar. And what do you do at the bar? You drink, you play card games, you dance, you do whatever. In this game, Red Dragon Inn, which I don't own a copy of, you have a character and you have 2 different life totals. One's your blood alcohol level and the other one's your actual health. And as you do certain things, you might take damage, and then you might drink a couple of beers, because after every round, you take a shot of something, or you can buy drinks for people. And if these 2 things ever touch on your health meter, you pass out. And that's how you get eliminated from the game. If you lose all your coins from gambling, because somebody could start doing gambling, you lose all your money from your raid that night that you went on the dungeon, and you say, enough of this, I'm going up to my room. That's another way to be eliminated. A fun little game. We had a blast doing that. Let's say we played Camp Grizzly. We talked about that. Fortune and Glory is like going after artifacts, just like King Solomon's mines, all that stuff. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Poopocalypse. This is a game the wonderful Jennifer got me. It is a little card game about poo, and you make a poo pyramid, and you have poo rulers, and you have poo peasants, and all this stuff. It's very simple and light, but the art is hilarious. It's good for all families. There's nothing really vulgar in this thing at all. Besides, unless you really get grossed out with poo. There's Harry Pooper in here, stuff like that. Cool little characters. I'm trying to find something here. Like this. This is like the chocolate geyser. little cards like that. Nothing big. There's rapid prairie dogs. You know, some people say that they got a prairie dog barking if they need to go poop. So it's all that kind of humor. So of course, I love it. You know, my kids love it. It's fun. And then
that could be called Scott Prime the Game.
I'm not going to really show any cards out of this. This was a game I found off Kickstarter, and I'm going to kind of leave it back here because I don't want to get us in trouble. It's called Cucumber Sandwich. It's a game about cucumbers and trying to have the biggest cucumber. And you can make other people's cucumbers shrivel, if you get what I'm saying. And the artwork is hilarious. Everything in there is like the kid from Superbad drew it, which people said that's who I am. If you don't know Superbad, it's an old movie from 20 years ago where this kid drew penises on everything. So it's a penis.
Oh, so it is you.
It is a penis humored game called Cucumber Sandwich. It's a very light card game. It's a good party game to kind of end the night. You can play for 20 minutes if you want and move on. And then the last game we played was Camel Up. It is horse racing with camels, and it is one of the most fabulous games I've ever played. It's hilarious. It's fun. You want to win, but you're also just really enjoying the time, you know, betting on the legs of the camels and et cetera, et cetera. I have to show you and Sean that sometime when we get together to play games. Other than that, that wraps up my weekend. Like I said, I was happy to play. I mean, that's a lot of board games. Like we left to eat a few times, and otherwise we were just stacking games up to get played and kind of keep Sarge's mind off the fireworks going on outside because they startle and mess him up. And we had a good time. So
I don't ever want to hear you talk about my 4-hour documentary.
Yeah, that's wasting time. You're not moving. You're just sitting there, Sean. We are playing games. You know how many of those games I won that weekend? Not enough. I need to win more. But like I was happy to win like quite a few of those. I was happy.
You know how many games I care that you won?
I know. About as much as I care about how many documentaries you actually watched. You know what's funny is that Valor and Villainy game, I liked it so much I went ahead and backed their second Kickstarter. Their second Kickstarter allows for the bad guys to be automated, so everybody can actually play the game versus the game, kind of like Nemesis is. But I enjoyed it enough. I love the artwork and the humor in it. And when we played that game, my character was the dwarf, and I didn't do jack crap all game. And I kept telling everybody, I'm going to get the last blow on the bad guy, and I'm going to win this game. And I said that from about turn 2 on. I didn't kill one thing or hit anything the entire game until the bad guy was up there. And they all weakened him. I went right over there, and I clobbered him for like 20 points. I won the game. And so all weekend I've been bragging to them that they wouldn't have won that game without my character. I mean, we won as a group, but that's not how I took it. I just, I owned it that I did all the work.
Good Lord.
You Babe Ruth it. You called that strike.
It was delicious. Great time with great friends. I'm assuming we'll probably do this almost every weekend or every 4th of July weekend from now to the end of time because it's starting to become just a tradition and stuff. So
that's cool.
And if anybody cares on that, you can follow me on Facebook and go look at all the wonderful pictures because I do try to post pictures.
I think Sean has them up here, but I mean we should probably wrap it up.
No, but I do. It's funny playing a lot of board games and I post pictures. I feel like a lot of times I'm bugging people by posting on Facebook. You wouldn't believe how many people around the world I got saying, "Hey, man, I really enjoy what you're doing. Keep posting pictures. Let me know you have this game with you because I'd like to see y'all play that." So it's kind of crazy with me doing the Blood Bowl podcast and having people from around the world that follow me, and then doing this show and other venues. It's kind of crazy how people care when you play board games. So
well, I mean, you probably play more variety of games than most people.
Well, that's probably
Let's just say that.
To be honest,
and you're not playing Monopoly and chess.
I don't even consider a game until I've talked to you about it first.
Well, I mean, there's a ton out there that I haven't played, but me and Jennifer
Sean's sitting on a game that we haven't played.
Yeah, we will. We're going to crack that open soon. So, anyways, I love doing that. So I kind of like showing it off because I like, if I trust somebody on something else, like a comic book or like a Kickstarter project, if they're really touting some game, like that's good. You eat at a hamburger place if somebody says that it has good hamburgers.
Sure.
So I try to post my honest opinions about games. There's some I don't like, so if anybody wants to buy Dead of Winter from me, I'll ship it to you for $30. We'll get it out of my house. I'll buy a new game to replace it.
Yeah.
It's a fine game 6 years ago. It's not anymore.
Well, it doesn't hold up.
Well, not to me.
All right, I'm going to move to On Blast if you guys are ready.
Yes.
Here it comes. There's the wind down you were asking for.
There you go.
All right, so for Ben, and probably for Scott, who always asks what the hell we're doing with this, what we're going to talk about is just any sort of comics or games or movies or television shows or books, whatever it is that you just want to get out there to everyone, something that you've read or enjoyed lately that you want to talk about. And first on that, since Scott's been talking, I'm going to go to Sean.
Not me.
As I like to start off, I back a lot of Kickstarters, a lot of Indiegogos, and what have you. And recently, I received Forsaken Gods, a fun little book. It's got a little
You're
bit
kind of cracking up.
Am I cracking up?
Yeah,
Am I cracking up?
a little bit.
Forsaken Gods, a fun little comic. I was very taken by the artwork, which I can't really spread open the book all that well because I'm afraid I'm going to crack the spine on this thing. But the illustrations are really nice. Colors, everything about it done really well. Story, really fun, really enjoyable. Good production on the book. But like I said, I'm afraid if I crack this open too wide, it's just going to go to bits on me. It may not. It's just how I feel. With it came a lot of fun little extras, like a handy dandy little keychain.
That's cool.
And some stickers and some pins.
I'll take that keychain.
I don't think you will. But
I'll
that
just
was
take
fun.
it. You'll never know.
You would be impressed. I also recently received Carbon 2 by Mike Schultz. I got this off of Flesk Publications. I was impressed so much with the Schultz book that I got before. I had to get a different one. So that was fun. If you're not familiar with sticky. If you're not familiar with Mark Schultz artwork,
Yeah,
the
he's
man's
awesome.
God.
He's awesome.
He really is. Been doing stuff for decades, and it's just absolutely magnificent. Again, if you're not familiar with Mark Schultz, check him out. Very, very interesting. And Bruce Timm. Is everybody familiar with Bruce Timm?
I
Do you know
am, but
who
assume
Bruce
that people don't know who it is.
Bruce Timm, who basically is the genius behind the Batman animated series, the look and the style and whatnot, has moved on to his more seasoned adult phase. And Flesk has not only a book of Bruce Timm pinups, but a second book called Bruce Timm Naughty and Nice. It's a very thick book, as you see, and I can't really show you anything out of it because there's a bunch of nakedness.
Yeah, and I'm pretty pure, so I'm glad you're not going to hurt me with that.
You sure are.
In the style of...
And Ben mentioned his wife, and he doesn't want to hear that filth either.
Yeah. I'm right there. I appreciate all of
Ben
that.
doesn't like perverts like you and Bruce Timm.
Here, this isn't too terrible. Get a little bit of Bruce Timm action there. Let's see, no.
For people who don't know, he's the cat that created Harley Quinn.
He is the creator of Harley Quinn. No. Oh wait, there's no naked.
That's cool stuff, man.
Nice.
It looks.
Beautiful work.
It reminds me a lot of like kind of 50s. type stuff.
Definitely. There's definitely a very I don't know, 50s, definitely 60s, early 70s, Playboy-ish.
Walt
type
says
of
Bruce Timm
photography.
also worked on the G.I. Joe cartoon,
Oh,
Did
wow.
he?
which I did not know.
I didn't know that.
I was not awares.
Walt is disbelieving on
there's
Scott
some-
being pure.
Not so naked.
I'm pretty pure, Walt.
Those are cool. He's done a lot of those.
Definitely.
He's got a very thick book there.
If you're a fan of Bruce Timm or just interested in Bruce Timm stuff, go to Flesk Publishing and check that out, or look for any Kickstarter that they may have upcoming that I'm unaware.
Cool.
And that's about all I got.
I'm going to go to a few comments here. Ronnie says, Scott, you need to let me know if you play D&D. He said
I keep
he
saying I'm gonna
never
do
played
that.
it correctly.
Nobody ever plays it correctly. It's okay.
That's probably true.
All you're
That's
doing
probably
is
true.
playing make believe. That's all D&D is, which is cool.
It's all in your cranium.
I wonder what the rules are like now. Because the old D&D rules were terrible.
The new ones are good.
Let's be honest. But the ideas were great. The ideas were great. And it certainly, revolutionized the...
You notice the latest
game
magic. The latest magic set is set in the Forgotten Realms of Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it?
Yeah, I went to a pre-release this weekend and played it. That's what I did before I met you guys.
Anthony says, I backed Death Road's All-Stars on Kickstarter. That's what he's consuming lately.
Nice.
Ben, I'm going to go to you next.
What did you consume?
Yeah. So I went digging for this. I know I mentioned earlier that I'm a Butch Guice fan, and he's one of my art heroes. So this is The Futurist.
Great stuff.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful artwork.
Oh, really nice. So he did this?
Yeah.
This is recent, isn't it?
This
Yeah,
is
it
the
is.
Allegiant art stuff
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's sold through Walmart.
Cool.
Or
Right.
I guess it was a Kickstarter first, right?
Yeah, I think the first issue was kickstarted, and then after that it went straight to Walmart.
Let me tell you something. That book, The Futurist,
Yeah.
issue 1, I love the
Oh, that
art.
looks great.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
killer. It's killer.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, it's
Issue
beautiful.
I'm
one.
very impressed.
Issue 1 I thought was so-so, and then after I read 2 and 3, I was like, this book is amazing.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun adventure.
How many issues has there been on that?
3.
3 so
Just
far.
3?
Right. Yeah.
3 so far.
And you have to get them through Walmart?
You can probably order them online through Walmart.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get them.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have anything else, Ben?
No, that's all I went to go dig up.
Any movies you've seen or anything? You don't have to come up with anything else.
The last movie I saw was My Fair Lady with my wife.
Really?
Nothing exciting. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Scott. It's back to you, man.
Jeez. That's all people want to do is hear more about me. I saw Black Widow this weekend. I went into it not wanting to go see it at that moment, and I was tired and grumpy, and I actually really enjoyed it, even though I could probably nitpick it apart, but I'm not going to do that because at the time I really kind of enjoyed it. So thumbs up to Black Widow.
Yep.
Even if I did nitpick it, it's still not a terrible movie. So a couple of comics really quick. The Beta Ray Bill comic is still really amazing. This is it Warren Johnson? What's his name? Daniel Warren Johnson.
Daniel.
Warren Johnson.
Dude, I like that guy a lot.
Dude, I love his his art, his story,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm going to show you some artwork from a book that I talked about earlier this
Hang
week.
on. Walt says that you can still find all the Allegiance titles at Walmart. You can
Good.
go get 1, 2, and 3. I'll go look.
That's cool.
I'll go look. That's cool.
First, I'm going to show you this.
Ooh,
That is that's a Kevin Eastman,
Ah.
Rob Liefeld pencils with
Wow.
Kevin Eastman inks.
All
I don't
right.
quite see here. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, I can see it the other way. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That looks
And
good.
then once again, I talked about this on Twitter
I think
and
that
Facebook.
looks cool.
This is a Neil Adams inked Rob Liefeld piece. So what I'm talking about here is
Just look at the difference in that and
some of the other stuff.
what you expect from Rob.
So, anyways, this is a book called Snake Eyes Dead Game. It's Rob Liefeld did. He wrote it, he drew it, and all that. This last issue, every page in the book is inked by somebody else. So,
That's cool.
for those people out in the creative or who are not maybe in the creative side of things, who just think the inker just puts black lines over the pencils lines, not
Definitely
true.
not the case.
Every inker adds their personality to the pencils, and Rob Liefeld uses the same one inker usually, or himself. That's why his stuff always looks that way. But this is a great example of different styles inked on his stuff. I mean, this has even, I can't remember who did this one, but this doesn't look 100% like Rob Liefeld at first. There's elements there. But anyways, it's a great book because, like I said, there's some different legends and stuff in here that do some inks his final book. Love that. And since I'm already talking about Rob Liefeld, I know everybody in the world usually hates him if they're in my age group, but they loved him at one point. He did a one-shot for Archie Comics, The Shield #1, The Mighty Crusader Shield #1. It's just a one-shot. This is actually covered by David Mack. If you remember David Mack, Kabuki fame.
Yeah.
He did the cover, but inside the pencils are all pencils and ink are done by Rob Liefeld, and it looks like a Rob Liefeld book, like we're used to.
I mean, that's not terrible.
But anyways, it was a good, fun read, but I don't hate Rob like everybody else. And then the last thing, since this is kind of show and tell, is I finally found Major Blood.
Oh, good job.
That's cool, man.
So much
Very
reflection
shiny.
here. Yeah, I finally found one
There
of
you
these at Target, and they were locked up because I guess morons steal these now.
Wow.
Jeez.
I'm at the age where my age group is stealing these, and you are bad people.
That is terrible.
Anyways, I plan on opening this, but it hasn't happened yet. So, anyways, that's all I got.
Wow. I mean, my own blast is basically we played those 2 games over the weekend. I did watch a couple of things with Sean yesterday that were really cool. What was it? Kid Cosmic?
Kid Cosmic.
Kid Cosmic's done by what's his name, McCracken?
Oh,
Craig McCracken, who
Dexter's
did
Laboratory.
Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a strange take on kind of the superhero team powers or whatever versus kind of aliens and weirdness. It's got a real interesting kind of 50s or 60s kind of gritty style to it. It's really interesting, the way that it looks. I thought it was actually, it had a lot of creativity to it. It was very interesting. I thought that's pretty good. And then we watched a thing with, it's touted as being a Godzilla animated series on Netflix, but Godzilla has not, what are we, about 4 episodes into this thing? 5? And
I think we're 3 or 4 or something like that. Yeah.
okay. And Godzilla has not shown up yet, but it's got Jet Jaguar in it. And who I was not familiar with. The animation on this is it looks like old school hand-drawn animation mixed in with a little CGI to do the vehicles and the robots and stuff. Really like the art style on this. It's really kind of a callback. Instead of everything being CGI, this looks like, 80s, 90s anime style. And the way that they have created these. I mean, for all I know, these are characters that existed in the old, the old movies or something. I don't know. Sean, do you know?
They're totally new to me.
Okay. The characters are in this thing that you're following along with this. They're like Team Jaguar or whatever, are fantastic. And the way that they write these characters is really brilliant. I mean, just each one has their own kind of style. They got an old man, and they got like a guy, kind of a know-it-all kid and stuff. He's great, and someone who's kind of got a level head on him, and then like a kind of a goth chick. All together, they're fantastic. It's like I don't care that Godzilla's not in this. These guys, I hope they keep making these things, over and over again. What's it called? It's called Godzilla 0 Point or something like that?
Something like that.
I'm sorry that I'm screwing that up by not knowing it. I didn't plan on even talking about this, but I don't have anything, so I'm talking about it. I was very impressed with this. Both of those, the Kid Cosmic and this Godzilla thing that focuses on Jaguar, are on Netflix. You can just watch them on there. And I will be definitely watching all of those episodes that they have out there. And the Godzilla thing is really like quickly becoming like a favorite thing. Singular Point. There it is. And there's Walt, who's trying to get this information to us. Walt says it's worth the wait. Have they been talking about it for a while? I don't know. I really enjoy that. If you like any of that sort of stuff, this Godzilla thing is just really good. They have some other Godzilla stuff on there, which has been cool, but this one in particular, I thought, because of the characters are really good. I am really invested in these characters. All right, so that's on Blast, guys. It's promo time. So first on that, let's go to Scott.
You can catch me over at bothdown.com, where you can listen to me talk even more about the game called Blood Bowl that Tony was promoting for a tournament at Twisted Lords Con just about an hour or so ago. So if you would like to know more about the game Blood Bowl, which I described to everybody, which is like rugby meets fantasy football, because you actually have dwarves versus orcs, and instead of battling each other, they play football. Anyways, you can catch me over there, bothdown.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Real Scott Prime. Speaking of Twitter, I actually tweeted out about how these inks make a big difference, different styles, and Rob Liefeld actually retweeted it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
So my words of wisdom and being
you just tagged him in the post, and he found you.
Yeah, I tagged him in the post, and he retweeted and stuff. So it went out to a lot more people. That's the miracle of
Twitter. I mean, that can happen. That can happen if you actually put the person in the tweet. And
of course, strangely enough, I have a few people now following me on Twitter, and it's like I don't post that often, but when I do, it's amazing and pure, because that's all I am. I'm Scott. Pure.
Those are definitely the two words that I would have used to describe both you and your content.
Hey, I mean, that's just who I am here on this show. See,
Is
right
the
there.
Amazing
It's right there.
Guy?
It's right there. Right there. Scott Pure Prime. Happens just like that.
All right. Ben, where can we find you?
So you can find me on the Facebook page, Halloween Head Comics, or you can just look me up on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter. Yep, there you go. But yeah, Halloween Head Comics is probably the best.
Ben Soto. Probably not a lot of Ben Sotos out there.
No, well, they're you'll be surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
But yeah,
definitely.
You
can find him on Facebook too.
Yeah, you can follow. Yeah, definitely follow the Halloween Head Comics page.
And let's not forget that you've got an Indiegogo going right now.
That's right. Yeah, I would appreciate any support.
Get over there and help it out. You're going to get a full graphic novel. That's cool.
Yep.
I mean, like it's almost 100 pages. Yeah, no kidding, man.
It's going to be over 100
I'm excited.
It will be. Yeah, it will be over 100 pages.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And for a great price. I mean, I've seen individual comics listed for $25.
Yeah.
So get over there and help out a fellow Okie.
Yeah, definitely. I would appreciate it.
And a great artist and writer.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice work, man. I didn't see
Yeah.
all those other pictures. I've seen some of your stuff, and now I see a lot more of your stuff, man. So that's really
Man, you
good.
need an art of
Thank you.
Ben Page.
I thought about it, but I don't know. I'll think about it more.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to keep poking you about that.
I appreciate it.
Ben's like, shut up and let me just do my comic stuff.
I know,
don't-
man.
I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do it.
I got
right.
it. I got it. You're probably like most artists and writers who just want to focus on the art and writing.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that. Walt says that he's already seen that Godzilla singular point twice, of course.
Of course.
Tree says, yeah, it happens just like that.
The purity.
Purely ridiculous.
Get out of here,
Walt
Walt.
says. Walt says, great work, Ben. Great show.
Hey, thank you, Walt.
Let's get to Sean's stuff. Give it to us, man.
As always, you can find me on rankingstudios.com. Be sure to go there, check out anything that I or my studio mates here have going. You can also find us at Facebook /Ranking Studios. Check us out. Leave us a comment. Say something. Anything. I read it all. All of it. Give it to me.
Scott's on there too. So am I. So is Rob. You don't want to talk about something you got in the mail this week?
Who, me?
No, Sean Wilson.
Oh.
Private Eye.
Coming soon to a Kickstarter and convention. We have our very first official, let's see, lapel pins.
Can you see
Oh,
that?
nice.
Yeah. I'm going to take that with that keychain.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I'm all out.
Those are cool.
Anyway, our very first, as I said, lapel pins. These will be wrapped up in packages of Kickstarters for future projects that come out, as well as for purchase at conventions and whatnot. So be
Those
on
are
the
pretty
lookout
cool.
for those.
We got some swag.
Those are really cool. Yeah.
I'm
Swag
trying
is
to
awesome, man.
I'm trying to do some stuff for the studio here and get some more
I got it on my
notoriety,
bag.
so to speak.
There it is.
There you go.
Nice.
Good stuff.
So
man.
be on the lookout. And also, I almost forgot to mention, I've got a commission page up on the Ranking Studios. Feel free to check it out. Prices are listed.
You want to bring that up? I can do my thing, and then we can put your thing up if you want to.
All right, you go do, and I'll see if I can bring that up.
Hey, if you guys
Walt
don't
says-
mind,
Lurvy Scott.
I was going to say, Ben, thanks for coming on. I'm actually going to get out of here, guys. It's almost, I got to be somewhere else at 9:30. So
All right.
Dude, you got like 4 minutes.
I got like 4 minutes according to my thing. And
That's what Sean just said.
I've drank like a lot of tea,
I
as you
understand.
see. And
Ronnie
so
wants a lapel pin. All right,
that's
get
where I'm
out of
off
here,
to.
man. All right. Take
Have a
off.
good one.
So
We're good. See you, man.
I think I muted myself
Scott.
somehow.
See you,
I
man.
can hear you.
Dang it, I muted myself. I can't even hear you. Anyways, goodbye, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Jerry wants some swag. All right. Do you have the thing up?
I have it. Let's see. I'm on the wrong page. Here, and here.
There we go. Sean Wilson commissions.
All right.
There's the good stuff right there, man.
Good stuff.
Take us through it.
Here
Nice.
you go. Here's a quick little visual of what is available and the prices indicated down here. If you're not just wanting a character, but you're wanting also a logo for your comic book or your company, I also do that as well.
Sean does some amazing logos. I mean, you
Nice.
can see some of them there. We're gonna debut a logo that he just did for me here pretty quick.
And any other extra instructions that you need, plus a link to my email so you
There it
can
is.
easily find me and request anything and everything. Feel
Sean
free.
at RainKingStudios.com.
There you go. So,
That's good.
if you are inclined, if you just have a little extra cash laying around and you want to give it to somebody who wants it more than you do, feel free to check out the commission page and drop me a line.
Yeah. All right. That's good stuff, man.
Very nice.
We'll show that again. All right. You can see all of my stuff right here. I'm also at Ranking Studios. You can check out all of my goodies there. I'm on Twitter at Dirk Hooper Plus. I'm on LinkedIn at Dirk Hooper Plus. I'm even on TikTok, which is insane. You can find me at Dirk Hooper on there. And Dirk Hooper Artworks. I just uploaded some stuff actually to Rain King Studios today on some stuff, and I will be updating some things here over the next few days. It's been a long time since I've updated websites. I'm updating every website that I own. So there is all the goodies that I have. Hey, Ben, one more time, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for being a good sport here.
Sure.
And
Thank you
listening
guys for
to all
having
of
me.
our silly gaming crap for
No,
like an
that's cool.
hour.
That's cool. That's fine.
We appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your artwork
Yeah,
with us.
not a problem.
It's very cool stuff. And look, seriously, if you have anything, you need to do some updates on this Indiegogo campaign or other stuff, we can do with you exactly what we did with Tony, which is just have you on here and talk about stuff. And when you've got your next project out or whatever, you just want to hang out with us, we'd love to have you because you're one of us. You're another artist and writer who's just trying to get the word out.
That's right. Well, thank you, Dirk. I really appreciate it. Sean, it was nice to meet you too, Dirk.
Great meeting you, bub.
Very cool.
You've chimed in many a time. I'm glad to finally get to see you.
Yeah. Seriously, we've been kind of dancing around this for a while. It's good to get you on here, man. Thanks also to Sean and to Scott, who had to go pee, I guess. I don't know what the heck he's doing. He's got to warp to someplace unless he's got one of those 10 pads from Loki. I don't know how the heck he's going to get any place in 4 minutes. I don't know. Jeree says, thanks, Ben and Tony, for being awesome guests. Yeah, thanks also for Tony for showing up today and giving us all the deets on his Twisted Lords Con, which is going to be this weekend. Hopefully, if you're interested in that, you go check it out. Scott will be there too. Ronnie also wants to say beautiful artwork, Ben.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you.
So there you go. So for Scott and for Ben, for Sean and Tony, thanks everyone for watching us today. We sure do appreciate it. Please leave a like or share wherever you see this, and a comment, particularly on YouTube. For whatever reason, they love that on YouTube. They're crazy pants on that sort of stuff. Thanks to everyone for chiming in and for being part of this. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying, dream hard.